I've heard you can't call them females now because that's a derogatory term. So the other term
wasn't derogatory
because you're not a specimen. Okay.
What?
I don't know. Older people listening are probably like, "Are you serious right now? Are you kidding me? What do you mean you don't have the? What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm gonna look out of the phone. I know it sounds crazy to y'all, but we don't do that anymore." So I was thinking about like, should we bring like a Yahoo map?
The Bamboo Project Podcast starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project Podcast. I decided I want to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself, and not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting my journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is DonivanGray, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. So first, I want to start off by giving a shout out to the Bamboo Project family. We are currently streaming on all major streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, you name it, we on it. And if we not on it, we about to be on it. For everyone listening to this podcast and not watching it, you can find us on YouTube at The Bamboo Project. We have over 350 videos on our channel. Dr. Sebi cooking tutorials, we got that. Travel lifestyle vlogs, got it. Makeup, got it. Hair growth, got it. Real estate, got it. Basketball, got it. It's everything us. All the parts of the journey that don't make it to YouTube will probably be on our story, so you can find me on Instagram at DonivanGray, DonivanGray, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, AnetaBurn, AnetaBurn. Now, the Bamboo Project is about turning your life into a living by making money off the things you already do every day. For us, that's the food project, the music project, the clothing project, the fitness project, the sports project, and the Bamboo Project podcast, which you are listening to right now. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 2, page 71 of this story. Now, for those who are new, this podcast has 4 different segments, okay? The first one is Life Update. On the way to creating 1,000 millionaires, we'll have our ups and we'll have our downs, and that will all be in the Life Update every single week. Then we have Episode Playback, which is a recap of last week's episode and the things I could have done better to make it a great episode. Then we have Donovan's Questions. It's a question that I had earlier in the week that I wanted to bring to you. And then we have the topics of the day. Now, all video and audio timestamps will be in the description box below. Today's date is July 27th. It is currently 6:22 p.m. On today's agenda, it is Black women don't know how to flirt. That's one thing on the agenda. And the other one was, which I kind of want to talk to Melissa about, kind of, she is a woman. I've heard you can't call them females now because that's a derogatory term. So the other term, because you're not a specimen. Okay.
What?
I don't know. But here's what I've heard. Honestly, this is what something I've heard recently, which I said, okay, I'll let that one slide. What they said was that female is an adjective, not a noun. That's why you can't call a woman a female. You could say I have a female dog, I have a female thing, a female friend, but a female is an adjective. This is something I heard. So I'm like, now that I say it out loud, it sounds silly because I think that they have male and females are like, but maybe it's a female anatomy. Who knows? When would you say female for a noun? She's a female what?
I know this female.
A what?
I know this female.
This female what? Exactly. So
okay.
That's
what you were saying, that because it has the word male in it, it's offensive.
That one too. That's another one.
But I'm like, woman has man in it.
Only ladies. You can only call them a lady. Other than lady, that's it. You can't call them nothing else other than lady. And then what was it? What was I gonna say? The topic was can the woman you want to marry be the same woman you want to have sex with? Is it possible? Stay tuned to find out. So what I like to do is I like to start off with the screen time, because in this generation, everybody's on their phone all the time and we don't know how much we're on our phone. So just to kind of bring awareness to it, I like to just say for myself what I've been doing on my phone and how much time I spent on my phone. So let's start off with going to the screen time. Like I said, give you a time to think about it, because you may not know. You may not know how long you have been on your phone today. So for myself, I think I've honestly had, I want to say it's been a pretty good yesterday. I think yesterday was pretty good. No. Today. Yes, today was pretty good. Yesterday? One of these days I had was a good day. But obviously it's not showing on here. Tuesday, which is today, I've been on my phone for 7 hours and 11 minutes. So maybe today's been a good day. Nah, it's probably not. Okay. Yesterday, I was on my phone for 11 hours and 24 minutes. And don't be looking at me like that. And then on Sunday, I was on my phone for 10 hours and 14 minutes.
No good days?
Excuse me?
No good days?
We don't know. Today could be a good day. All right?
It's only 6 o'clock and you've been on your phone.
You don't even know that. You don't know that yet. Okay? And it's work. I'm a YouTuber, so I have to, it be work. YouTube was today. That's what I'm saying, that's cheating. 2 hours and 51 minutes on my phone today on YouTube. Does that count? If I'm listening to videos like motivational, business, educational videos, does that count?
If you ask if it counts, it counts.
Wow. Safari for 56 minutes. I was Googling how to watch videos on YouTube. Instagram, I was watching your videos to see how well you're doing on YouTube, on Instagram. 55 minutes. And Twitter, 37 minutes. And I was on BetterHelp for 19 minutes, messages 21 minutes, whatever. So, yep, like I said, that's my screen time for today. Something might change with that soon based off the information we had today. But I'm gonna get into it. I just had some water. Okay, let's start this podcast off right. Okay, so what I've learned is that people who watch the podcast tend to click more on it when it's about Airbnb. Now, I personally don't like to chase views. I don't like to chase trends. I don't really like to have the channel go in that direction. The channel is meant to be a reflection of what we do regularly on our path to becoming successful, right? But on that path, sometimes there'll be a lot of Airbnb topics. There might be a lot of GameStop, credit, relationship, business, things that are happening around, whether it be the pandemic, whatever things are going on will come and translate through to the podcast. So sometimes what I want and what I'm doing coincides with what the people who are listening want. So today's one of those days because we have some more Airbnb information. So you know what that means? The title's gonna have Airbnb in it. So now that's why you're here. I know why you're here. So if you have been following along this crazy journey up and down ride that started in February with us going to Atlanta to even secure an Airbnb, which now has led us all the way into August. Like I said, I know how you guys want to be rich doing Airbnb. I know that interests y'all. So here is what has happened over the last week. I'll give a little context, a recap for people who are new for this video. Last couple of weeks, 3 weeks ago, we went to Philadelphia. And we went to Philadelphia because I got word from one of my friends, shout out to Chris, that there was a property in Philadelphia that was was looking for someone to do Airbnb. So he had told me about it because he knows I'm trying to get into that space. So I said, okay, we were going off to Philadelphia anyways because we just bought that property out there. We figured, you know what? Let's set up a day to go meet with the property manager and see if we can secure these 3 units. We go out to the property. Everything goes very well. We have some communications for a couple of weeks. And then last week we were going negotiating back and forth. I wanted concessions. Concessions that I wanted were 2 months free on the rent, which would be January and February of next year. That's what I wanted. And also we would have to pay 4 months security, 4 months deposit. Now, I did not want to pay 4 months deposit, but that's what they said, for the reason being our credit score is not the best and our income is not that high. So they said, okay, we want to see that you can give us these 4 months. So fine. Okay, for this unit, that would be 3 units at $2,000 a pop. That's $6,000 times 4. You do the math, that's $24,000, right? So that is the amount of money we have to come up with for these 3 units. So I was very hesitant at first. I was like, look, I don't want to do that. And we went back and forth. And then they came back and they said, listen, either you have a cosigner or you have to pay these 4 months deposit. And for them, the 4 months would be first, last, and 2 months security. So I'm like, you know what? Fine. I'm like, you know what? We have the money to pay for the 4 months. Thanks to the last video or 2 where we got this Capital on Tap. That's the company that we got the credit card with. They will be able to fund this deal, which is perfect. So I said, hey, you know what? Fine. We can do the 4 months. Right? And actually, before I skipped ahead too far a little bit, I sent them a message after they said, I'm gonna sure I have the facts straight because I want to make sure the timeline is correct. Okay, this is what happened. They said, unless you can provide a strong cosigner or submit at least 2 more months of security deposit, I do not think the owner will be interested. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Fine, we can make it work. I would rather keep my other company separate because they wanted us to use them as a cosigner. I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to do that. And I said, we will pay the extra 2 month security deposit at $2,000 a month. I said, we want that rent to go towards August and September, and the 2 months free to be for January and February of 2022. And the move-in date will be 3 weeks after the lease is signed. That's what I said I wanted, right? This was last week Sunday that I sent this message. He texted me at 11:56. I responded at 12:45 last week Sunday. So Monday goes by, I don't get a response. Tuesday goes by, I did the podcast, I don't get a response. Actually, no, I didn't do a podcast. I think I did it on Wednesday. Wednesday goes by, I don't get a response. Thursday goes by, no response. Friday goes by, no response. I'm thinking, okay, obviously you could text me back and say yes or no, or we got the message, or I'm waiting to hear back from the owner. I heard nothing. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, this deal is dead because it's been a week. I haven't had any correspondence, and obviously they found that something has popped up that made them feel a little get cold feet, right? I don't know what it could be, but that's what I figured happened. So I figured maybe YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, who knows? Maybe something, I don't know what could have happened. I just assumed something came up. So then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it one more chance. So I wait until Saturday and I give him a call, right? And I'll call him. It rings once, it goes to voicemail. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I'm like, that's crazy because he just ignored the call. He didn't even I'm like, oh, they really just not fucking with us now. They just got the call, saw it ring, and hung up. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. So I'm like, all right, boom. You know what? Fine. The money that we have for this property will be used for our renovation for the house that we just bought in Philadelphia. Right? That was the main reason why we were trying to figure out, are we doing the Airbnb thing? Because if not, this money will go to that property. So, okay. They don't respond to my text. I call, nothing. And I don't get a call back either. I don't get a text saying, hey, I'll call you back. I don't get a phone call back. And I don't get a response to my first message that was almost a week ago. So I said, okay, deal's done, right? I'm kind of stressed about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm like, you know what? It would have been great to get this Airbnb deal. It's been a really good thing. We could use that money to just further what we're trying to do, right? So Sunday comes by, Melissa and I are talking about, okay, how are we going to put this money towards the renovation? How are we going to get our credit up, right? Sunday comes, and you guys know that we have been talking about Melissa getting a job in the film industry, and she would be a PA, which is a personal assistant, production assistant on the film set. Right now, I'm gonna tell you why this ties into the story, right? Because Sunday, Saturday, one of these weekend days, they had said to her, "Hey, we have a check that we sent to you, but we need you to send the money from the check to the PA, to the project manager. So we're going to send you a check, right? Once you get it, just deposit into your bank. And then once it clears, just send it to, them, right?" So it's like, all right, cool. Melissa will start working. We'll have money plus the money we just made from capital on tap. We're like, all right, bet. This sounds like a plan. So the check comes. I think, let's say check comes on Friday. Let's say, right? And Melissa goes, oh, okay, I'm gonna deposit it. Oh, damn, I can't deposit it on Saturday. It was too late. So Sunday, the banks are closed. So she's like, you know what? I'm gonna deposit it on Monday. They say, hey, is it possible that you could send, $1,000 from the check to us? And Melissa's like, nah, I don't got that to send y'all. And they're like, okay, cool. Don't worry. When the check clears, you can send that. And they're like, okay, cool. So then they go, so I know you don't have the 1,000, but can you just send 500 for now to the project manager? He could buy, the supplies. He gotta buy lights. He gotta buy pens and pencils. He gotta buy cardboard boxes and stuff. Bags, things like that. Maybe cupcakes and stuff. Who knows what you need on a set? I've never been to one, right? So Mr. like, nah, I don't got that either. I don't have $500 to give y'all to send. Oh, okay, cool. Her name is Ann. Ann is all nice. Like, okay, don't worry about it. It's okay. When the check clears on Monday, when you go to the bank, just send us the money then. We're like, okay, cool. So Monday comes around and we're sitting here. Like I said, we already done with the Airbnb thing. We're like, you know what, F it is what it is. So now Melissa and I are sitting in on the bed, right? And they're kind of asking her again, like, hey, did you deposit the money? Now, here's what I've learned. For anybody listening, for all the people who are listening, right? What I've learned is, for me personally, I have learned that anybody, especially in business, if they are trying to rush you, you should not. I would suggest not doing it. No matter what it is, nobody should be trying to pressure you. Whether it be, they call that high pressure sales. I think that's what it's called, high pressure tactics, something like that. And it's those type of situations. Now, for me, it happened a long time ago. I almost got scammed where I went to apply for a security job I found on Craigslist. I think they were paying like $20 an hour, $30 an hour, something like that, right? Now, when I got there, it was already sketchy, whatever. That isn't the point. The point is that they said that I had to pay them like, I don't know, $1,500, something like that, right? And I said, I don't really have it right now. I said, okay, cool. You can give us $600 right now, but you have to come in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. to drop the money off. If you don't come in by 6:30 a.m., the money you give is not refundable, right? So I'm like, damn, now I'm feeling like anxious. Like, oh, I gotta get here at 6:30 in the morning. I'm planning my day out tomorrow. The next day, I'm like, okay, if I wake up at 3:30 in the morning, I could make it to the train. It's about a 2-hour ride to get from my house all the way to Wall Street. I could come to the building, drop off the other money, and go back home. That's what I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking I'm being responsible. I'm a responsible adult. I'm waking up early, getting up on time. These are what I'm trying to do, right? Now, I bring this up because when you start getting that feeling like, oh, I gotta rush, that's probably being done on purpose. Because a lot of people make mistakes when they get into that situation. When they get that feeling of anxiety, of high pressure sales, they feel like they're being rushed. That's what they want you to do. So that you make a bad decision, right? So I started getting this feeling because I'm like, then they really want you to kind of give this money to them real quick. That plus the fact that they asked for 1,000, then they asked for 500. Like, oh, don't worry about the 1,000. Just give us 500. I'm like, this all seems kind of sketchy. So, hold on, get some water. So again, this all seems kind of sketchy. So we're sitting here like, you know what? I'm saying, look, it sounds like a scam, but deposit the check, see what happens. Maybe it's not a scam. Who knows? Because here's the thing too about the scam, right? A couple days before that, we had looked up the company online because they have the name of the companies on the check. So the company is like a trucking company, right? But this is a film production set company that you would assume. You would think that the company tied to this would be something in music or entertainment or something like that, right? In media. But it was like Records, LLC, some truckers, something like that, right? So I'm like, this seems kind of suspicious. And the people that own the company, none of their names are Ann. So I'm like, this is even kind of more strange. So that day, I'm like, listen, if it was me, I'm telling Melissa this, I'm like, I would deposit the check into the account and see what happens. Because if you deposit the check, right, and the bank cleared the check, that's your money. Like, now, if you deposit it and it says pending still and the money's in your account, I wouldn't touch that. But if somebody gives you a check and you deposit the check into the bank and the bank goes, okay, this check seems pretty good. We checked your account, checked their account. It all seems solid. And they give you the money. That is not, in my opinion, in my judicial opinion as a lawyer, not really a lawyer, what I would do is leave it in there, see what they say. They'll say nothing, keep the money. Now, or send them the money they asked for, send them the $1,500 they wanted, or whatever the case might be. And honestly, now that I think about it, you probably would have been able to keep the money that they tried to give you. Because like I said, this is what I've learned from from Bandman Kevo, a lot of scammers, right? The person that gets into trouble is the person that takes that loss is the bank. It's not you. Because honestly, what probably happened was the check. Let's say it's a fake check, right? Which, I mean, I don't even know if it's fake or not, but the other people whose check it is say, hey, we didn't send that check. We didn't sign that. And then you go, they sent me this. This has their name on it, everything on it. And y'all cleared it. I thought it was a real check. So now it's like, well, where's the money at? Well, you told me it was a good. They gave you the money. I kept it. What you want me to do? And the bank goes, all right, fuck, we took a loss. And honestly, I think that if you would have gave the money to them, you would have kept your $700, $800. Because if I remember correctly, with the scams from back in the day, that's how it works. You get your little piece, they get their piece, and the bank take the L on that.
Well, I don't know.
I'm just saying. That's how I remember from what I've heard about scams. So that could have been a cool $3,000 in your account, light work. But either way, Melissa was like, she's not for it. And I think what's really funny about this? We had this convo the other day.
We did.
Which I think is so funny because I don't know if y'all remember this. I might have brought it up on here. I had asked Melissa, like, hey, what would you do if, like, the bank dropped $50 billion in your account? What would you do? And she was, like, freaking out, like, mind you, hypothetical. She's like, I'll put it back. I'm not going to keep it. I'm not going to want to touch it. I'm like, but what if you could invest it, get 1% back, and then give it back to them, keep your money? She's like, I don't know. She didn't really want to have the convo because she felt like, in her mind, she's like, I'm going to jail. They're gonna rape me in jail. I don't want to be in jail with all these lesbians, and they're gonna beat me up. That's what she probably was thinking. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, all right, boom. If I just take 50 billion, right, and I could buy 3 little tiny houses, and then get my little refinance, give it back to the bank. Everybody get their money, and I'm good. And I'm on my way. Or I get some cars on Turo, or do some Airbnb. Listen, I'm just saying, if I got 50 billion deposited into my account, I personally would try and flip it somehow. So government, if you're listening, I'm open if you want to deposit 50 billion in my account. We can talk about the consequences afterwards. So I think it's just funny that this actually came up and Melissa did exactly what she said she would do. Yes. And I did exactly what I said I would do. I'm like, listen, you know me. If we can keep the money, try to keep the money. She's like, I don't want to touch that. It's not mine. Which is fine. Because you can't have, you can have 2 Bonnie and Clydes. Or you could have somebody like, go ahead and touch that money. You'll fuck yourself up. And I'm like, but you can still make $10. Is it worth $10? It might be if you flip the 10 into 100 and make 1,000 out of it. It's worth it, right? That's how we look at it. So sometimes it's good to have somebody, ground you sometimes. Because who knows? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe she would have deposited it. And then we would have been.
Overdraft fee on top of I would have got a summons, a collection. Chase would have closed my bank account. Like, it's a lot.
We don't know. We'll never know. For $3,000, you could have made some moves, Melissa. We could have bought a car. You love cars. So, but yeah. So we almost got scammed that way, right? Now, facts. You almost got scammed that way. Absolutely. So that job is obviously dead in the water. Now, at this point, we're like, damn, we're defeated. We're like, we lost the Airbnbs. We lost the $900 a week job. We're just like, damn, this is terrible. Like, we back at square one for the most part without any way of producing more income. So I'm like, all right, we got to figure it out. I'm like, you know what? Obviously, we're moving too fast. This is God's way of saying, chill out, sit the fuck down. And we're like, all right, okay, God, we heard you. You understand what you're saying, right? So this is my mindset at the time. Next day comes. I get a text, right? The text says, this text is in the Monday morning. The text says, I'm having a meeting today with the partners. We'll update you today. That's from the Airbnb property manager. I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, I'm skipped a step, but it doesn't even matter at this point. It's too late. Can't go back in the storytelling. So I'm like, oh man, what the so now my body's all jittery. I'm excited because I'm like, yo, this is insane. Like, we really might do it. Like, we could really do this, right? But I'm like, all right, we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We don't know, right? And the reason why this is so crazy to me, I'm gonna tell you why this is crazy. Because after I told myself the deal was dead, I said this deal is dead. I called my mans. Shout out to my guy, right? And I'm talking to him. I'm like, yo, bro, just curious. I know back in the day you used to do Airbnb. If an Airbnb opportunity presented itself, would you want to be a partner on that? He was like, sure, absolutely. He's like, yo, funny enough you say that. I was just talking to my brother the other day about doing Airbnb. So I'm thinking like, wow, what are the odds of that? But now I'm stressed. I'm like, yo, we just lost the Airbnb. If I knew that you would be a co-signer and put money up, we could have secured this Airbnb 2 weeks ago. So I'm like, damn, this kind of sucks. I'm like, if only I had the deal. If only the deal came back. And I was saying to him like, listen, if anything happens with the deal and it come back somehow, I'll let you know. But it's pretty much dead. He's like, I bet. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be looking for properties in Atlanta. If anything come up, we could do something, make some money, whatever, right? That's when Monday came and I got that text saying, hey, going to see the partners today. So I'm like, I bet. Holla at your boy. I say, yo, sounds good, bro. I didn't say bro, I just said sounds good. And then all day goes by and I don't get a response again. Nothing. Mind you, he took a week and a day to send me that text. And I'm like, bro, my heart don't have the ability to wait another week and a day to get another text from this guy telling me either yes or no. I need to have my answers. My body is not set up to be in limbo. I need to either have a yes or a no. I can work with a yes, I can work with a no. I cannot work with nothing. I can't do that. So all day goes by, no response. I'm like, here we go again. Mind you, my body was clear and ready to go. I'm like, all right, let's do this credit thing. Let's get the other house in Philadelphia in check. We're good to go. Today's Tuesday, right? I'm like, should I call him? Tuesday's my day. I got the therapist sessions at 1 p.m. Talking to my guy. I think he's from Cali. We be vibing on the phone. You feel me? I'll be go through my mental health and all that. And I was telling him like, yo, I want to call the guy because that's what my body's saying. Yo, just call him. But here's what I've learned. And I have learned that when I get too excited, I need to just calm down and just don't do nothing. Don't do anything. Just relax, because overexcitement or over anxiety, anything that you want, any emotion that is higher than natural or neutral usually gets me into a bad situation. So I always try to be even keel, right? Now, I can be excited after something is done, but I don't want my emotion to affect whatever deal I'm going through. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna call the guy. I'm gonna just say, hey man, what's going on? You supposed to text me. I didn't get a response. What's going on with that? So I'm talking to my therapist. He's like, yo, why did you should call? I'm like, yeah, I know I should, but I probably will when I'm done with here, but I haven't called him yet. I'm still haven't decided. I'm still thinking, should I call him? I don't want to be too overzealous. So, he's like, yeah, I think you should call. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take your words into consideration. I'll see what I do when I get off the phone. I get off the phone, come in the house, and talking to Melissa, decide to watch some TV, and I'm chilling. Honestly, I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna call this guy today. I'm like, you know what? The dude, he texted me. He he had a meeting yesterday. He ain't do nothing. I'm like, yo, what we gonna do with this? So, honestly, I'm watching a video. I didn't even see my phone go off. I get a text. The text says to me, this is the text that I got at 2:41 p.m. Okay? I spoke to them again. Here is their final offer. Interspace. 2-year lease, with a month free, period. You pay first, last, and 2 months of security deposit. The month free will be at the beginning of next year. The security deposit cannot be used for rent. You know what's funny? I never even presented that. Now that I think about it, I had told you earlier I think he was bugging. You know what's crazy? They presented that to me. They said to me, oh yeah, we'll use one of the security deposits for your 3rd month's rent and we'll put it towards that. And I'm like, because I don't know if y'all know, I'm about to be an agent, a real estate agent in Philadelphia. But Oh, can you turn this off? It's about to die. I don't want to. This one needs a battery. So, like I said, I'm about to be an agent in Philadelphia, so I've been taking my course. Now, I know you cannot use a security deposit for rent. The reason why is because you're supposed to put that money in an escrow account, and it's to only be used for damages. Honestly, I'm supposed to receive that money back at the end of the term of the lease. So that's why you can't put it towards rent. So they actually suggested to me to do that. Now, I thought it was kind of funny that they did that, right? I'm like, you know what? I've been reading. I know you're not supposed to be able to do that, but who knows? Maybe it's under the books. I don't know. Another thing that was kind of odd to me, let's say I'm learning a lot from this real estate stuff, this was supposed to be a corporate lease, and they sent me a regular lease application, and they wanted my social for it. And I thought it was kind of strange too. I'm like, I gave them my tax EIN, and he was like, "Yo, we can't see your credit score with this." I'm like, "Yeah, duh, it's not me. You're supposed to be running the business score, not mine." He's like, "Yeah, I don't know what to do with this." I'm like, "Fine, here's mine. Here's my credit score." And he was like, "Oh, this is not that great." I'm like, "Bruh, you're not supposed to be running this anyways. Who cares?" So right, that's what. So I figured, you know what, this is probably somewhat illegal, but I'm like, you know what, it is what it is. I don't know how you're getting down, but yeah, I'm not supposed to be able to do that. So he told me it's illegal to do that. And then the rest of the message says the security deposit cannot be used for rent. First, it's illegal. Second, they want to stay at the bank in case there are any damages. I'm like, fine, whatever. He said there's another company interested that we are just starting to negotiate with. We can pay for the lawyer fee to prepare all the documents, as this is a commercial lease because you have a company. And I'm like, yeah, it's supposed to have been a commercial lease / corporate lease from the jump street. So like I said, this leads me to believe, which I've learned in wholesaling, that I should never underestimate my intelligence on any situation at all. If I think I know something, I think it's better for me to say that I know it and then be wrong, because I be holding my tongue and then boom, I be right. So I'm just like, damn, how many times is it gonna happen? Because I knew something was kind of fishy with that, but I'm like, you know what, whatever. Maybe he's inexperienced. I don't know. He's been doing it for 8 years. I don't know what's happening. All I know is that seemed kind of off. But I said, okay, those terms are fine with us. When can we expect to receive the documents? They said hopefully tomorrow or the day after. So hopefully by the time you hear this podcast, we will have signed our first corporate lease for 3 units in Philadelphia. I want y'all to listen. Y'all seen it. Y'all seen the journey. It's been a lot of ups and downs. We haven't posted a lot this month just because Melissa was sick all last week. We just been trying to get this Airbnb thing. The week before that, we was in Philadelphia. It's just been a really more or less hectic kind of month. And we still picking the podcast out, and we have some videos that we recorded. We just never actually, some of them are edited. They're just not completely finished for YouTube. So, you know, we're still working on that. But we're about to definitely have some Airbnb content for y'all. What's going on?
Yeah, just thinking, planning parties and...
Facts. Let's have parties, graduation parties. There's a lot of stuff going on this month. But like I said, we about to start hitting y'all with that content. And listen, if the Airbnb do the numbers that I have in my head, you know what? If I myself was listening to this podcast, I would want to know what the proposed numbers are. What are you projecting the numbers to be, right?
Those dudes hitting them.
I'm hitting them with it. They getting it. So
I'm not.
why?
I want to wait till we get our first month sales and see what we get.
Why? It's happening. So what? I don't know what that means. So projected. This is projected. We have 2 projected. We have our conservative and we have our generous. Okay. Now these are the net amounts. I'm not talking about gross, because gross is going to be higher. The net. We are either going to net. We're also splitting money with my man's who will be investing, and Chris also. So if we splitting it with them right now, we're looking at about $5,000 for ourselves that we would net conservatively every month. And we're looking at about $150 a night at maybe like a 60% occupancy rate for the month, which is fairly low in my opinion. However, if we want to go generous, which I think the numbers where we get the super host status is what we're going to really be pulling in. Okay. We're talking about hitting that bag. All right. Now, $215 a night. Okay. 2 bedroom, 2 bathrooms. Okay. I say about 80% occupancy rate. Okay. Right now I got our numbers At last time I checked, we pulling in like for ourselves, not even including what the gross amount is, not including what my mans get, not including what Chris get. This is talking about net profit in our pocket. That's a bar that we get to keep. Net profit means in your pocket. Listen, yeah, listen, bars. We talking about, y'all ready for this? Dun, 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 dun. We are talking about $10,500 in our account net. You know what that means? Net means in your pocket. So we would keep $10,000 in our pocket. Now, here's the great thing about all of this, right? This is the main reason why I want to have Airbnb, because the gross amount is what would go on the tax returns. The gross amount is what goes in our bank account. So when we go and we apply for a loan, we apply for other Airbnbs, or other corporate units, they're gonna see, God damn, how much money I put in last month? $25,000 in 1 month. Oh my God, how did y'all do that? Listen, they don't know that half of that go to rent. They don't know how much of it go. They just know that in our account was deposited regularly every single month, $20,000 to $25,000 in our account regularly. All right, and honestly, if y'all didn't do the math, I just want y'all to know, if we successfully pull this off at 10 G's a month, that means we will be a six-figure couple. That's gonna be on Instagram. We're gonna make an Instagram call. We're gonna change our YouTube name to the six-figure couple. All right, because that's what we would be. We will be making 6 figures a year. You know what that means? That means that's 100,000. Put that out there, okay? Now listen, we've been here. All right, we're gonna see how it play out. We don't have a lease yet. We don't have any money yet. We ain't even furnished a place yet. We just telling you the proposed number that we hope to hit conservatively and generously, somewhere in the middle. All right, and hopefully get some more units. So that's the update for the Airbnb. So you guys stay tuned, and we will keep you updated, because not only will we have podcasts about the Airbnb, we will have a lot of videos, trust me. And one video we have coming soon is our YouTube videos. You know why? Because we're about to be monetized soon. We are at 900, and let me check one more time before I speak. I want to double check this. On YouTube, we are at 915 subscribers. If people who do not know about how YouTube works, we don't get paid until we have 4,000 watch hours, which means somebody has watched our videos in totality 4,000 hours worth and 1,000 subscribers worth. Okay, that video will drop too. So I just want to say, I don't know if you remember this, Melissa, but in the beginning of the year we had said that it's all probably happened on the same time.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so we already bought a house this year. Listen, the Bamboo probably doing pretty well for their first year in business. We about to buy a house. We already bought a house. All right, we got business credit. All right, we about to pick up some units. Okay, about to flip the. I'm just saying. We got
$30,000 in business credit.
We got $30,000 in business credit in our first year. I'm just saying we're doing all right for ourselves in our first year of business. I'm just saying, we're not moguls yet. We just on our way there. So where was I? Like I said, so we'll be dropping a lot of Airbnb content, and as well as just lifestyle type content. That's what we are here. We just like to listen. We on a journey. And we're recording it and making videos for y'all to enjoy the journey. So I want to switch gears a little bit, because I watched a video recently. Like I said, this guy Loft, LAWHF or something like that, has some very good chatting with videos, right? And these are interviews he does with random people. He has very interesting guests on there. He has marriage counselors. He has narcissist experts. He has pedophiles. He had a virtuous pedophile. Let me say that correctly. I think he had transgender on there. I listened to that one. But the one that really struck me the most was the one that he had with a marriage counselor. Now, the reason why is because I feel like Melissa and I have been having some rocky moments over the last month or two in our relationship. So I've been trying to figure out, okay, how do we solve this? Is there a problem? What is the problem? Is it solvable? What can we do? What actionable steps can we take to fix this, right? So one thing that he said was couples in this day and age lack intimacy, right? Now, after hearing this, I was mind blown. I was like, wow, I think, excuse me. I don't know, he's sucking your teeth. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, I definitely think Melissa and I lack intimacy. I'm like, I agree. That be happening. Why are you making faces? I don't understand. I was like, I get it, right? So I'm like, all right. But I'm gonna tell you why he said what that means to him, or why it happens. He said, listen, a lot of times people feel like they're spending quality time with their partners, right? And what are you making faces for, Melissa? Okay, I don't understand. You're spending quality time with your significant other, and that's just crazy. And I think that he was saying that people feel as though because they're just spending time with each other, that it's quality time. And in actuality, it's not. People feel like, okay, we're watching a show together, that's quality time. We are on our phones in the bed together, that's quality time. We're gossiping about other people, that's quality time. And he said that all of these things are more or less distancing actions. They're not something that you're spending time with each other and building a bond with each other over, right? It's more superficial, he was pretty much saying. He was saying that things that really build intimacy are the things he said when you talk to each other about yourself. Now, I don't really know what that means. I think he wants me to ask, what's your favorite color? And I still don't know. What's your favorite color? Is it green? Is it pink? Is it blue? Is it black? Is it purple? It's purple. It's purple, right? I don't even know her birthday either. I think it's October 12th. I don't know. So I know she's a Sagittarius. So she wanted them animals. So all I'm saying is that is what he said in the video, right? So I'm like, you know what? My goal is to make sure that I am happy in every aspect of my life, relationship, with myself, self-esteem, family and friends, business. I just want to be successful in all aspects of my life. And I can't have that if I don't think that Melissa and I are the strongest we can be. So, okay, I'm trying to figure out what can I do that can build the intimacy in a relationship, because Melissa, it seems as though she feels like she knew this already or something, or like she's been saying this or something. I don't think none of that's true. I think she be just trying to make faces when I say stuff that I came up with by myself. And then I'm thinking, okay, quality time. How are we spending quality time together? What does that look like? 'Cause I kind of get what he's saying. So I had this brilliant idea, because I am a philosopher. I'm an amazing individual. And I figured, okay, I think once a week, what we should do is, I think every Friday, Melissa and I should go out somewhere, right? A couple hours a day. I'm thinking 5. It could be less, 1, 2, not 1, probably like 3 to 6 hours. Just outside, right? But here's a kicker. We cannot bring our phones with us, okay? We can't bring our cell phones. So that means no music. That means we can't post pictures of where we're going. That means we can't tweet about where we're going, what we're doing. That means we can't take no videos, nothing. You can't listen to music. I think I said it already. You can't play no games on your phone. That means no Tetris, okay? Nothing, no games, nothing could be happening on the phone. We can't check out YouTube analytics, nothing. It'll just be me and her together for hours without nothing, okay? Sounds crazy, I know, but that's what we'll do. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you how funny this is to me, right? I was really sitting there thinking, like, what the fuck we gonna do? What we gonna do outside? Are we gonna get lost? Now I think it's so crazy because there are so many ways to like not be lost or figure out something to do without your phone. But I honestly know, I was thinking about too. I'm like, yo, how do I pay for stuff?
Bro,
I was like, I'm like, wait, how do I pay? I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, Don, at least you could, you know how to use a MetroCard. I'm like, oh, fuck. But how do I pay for one? Bruh. I was like, I definitely have a wallet with a card that I could use to buy stuff. And I'm like, that's crazy, Donivan. I'm like, how far removed are you from reality? So, like I said, I think that'll be, you know what I'm about to say right now? Here's how fucked up social media has made me. I'm like, Melissa, you know what we should do? We should make a vlog about us. I'm like, we should vlog us not having social media with us outside.
I think you can do that.
You can't.
It's not like the camera's connected to anything.
You can't, because I'm no longer present with you. I'm now present through the camera watching you.
You're right.
So now no intimacy. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm the one who wants to be intimate. You obviously want to bring cameras along with us. So that's something that I'm going to try. Well, we're going to try it starting this week, which is going to be something very interesting. That should be a very interesting thing, because honestly, I'm going to be honest. I cannot say I went out with a girl without my phone in my entire life. Not even even when phones were first made, I'm pretty sure I had like something with me. Like whether it be a Game Boy, I had something with me that I could occupy my time with. It could be music. There was something. You're talking about me and Melissa gonna be outside.
Since you gonna realize we hate each other.
Bruh, I'm be sitting there looking at her like, wow, this is really how you be. This is really who you are. That's crazy. And she looking at me like, wow, I thought you were taller than that. I could have sworn you was 6'1". You not even, what the, you know? So, listen, I think it's funny. If anybody else tries it, let me know how it goes. Or if you have tried it, I'm curious how that went for you guys. Did you guys break up afterwards? Was there a divorce? Like, you guys, fall passionately in love again? Who knows? But I think it'd be really interesting to go outside, which I also think is funny. It's the last thing I'm going to say on it. Because older people listening are probably like, are you serious right now? Are you kidding me? What do you mean you don't have the phone? What are you talking about? I'm like, yes, I'm going to go outside on the phone. I know it sounds crazy to y'all, but we don't do that anymore. So I was thinking about, like, should we bring like a Yahoo map, like the print out the Yahoo maps and be like, all right. So we said,
if we're in Manhattan, we're good, because Manhattan is
if we go to Manhattan, who said we go to Manhattan? We might go somewhere else.
I'm saying, if we go somewhere else, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Listen,
but if we go to Manhattan, I feel okay, because I'm like, okay, we literally just follow streets.
It's like that everywhere. You just gotta know the streets. No. If you go to Wall Street.
Do you not know that I live in Queens? We're gonna be like, are we going on
that is true.
Flower Drive, Flower Road, Flower Boulevard?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, Queens is wild. I was saying Wall Street, but Wall Street, at least they don't fuck you up like that. They just have the streets intercross with each other 3 times before you get to the end of the block. That's it. And over here, you be on 147th Drive, Street, and Lane all at the same time, and they don't know where either one of them go. But either way, that's our plan going forward. I just wanted to let y'all know that is what we have planned for us. Now, 2 more things I wanted to bring up as far as for life update. Credit score. Okay, credit score. Now, I know people want to improve a credit score. Now, this is the craziest thing to me. If I asked you right now, where would you learn about credit from? If I asked you to go and research credit, you probably would say YouTube, right? Something like Google or something like that, right? Here's the funny thing. You all probably know the credit bureau's names. The people that actually give you the score, there's 3 of them. Actually, there's more, but there's 3 main ones. There's Equifax, there's TransUnion, and there's Experian for regular credit. And honestly, there's 2 of those. I think 3 of them actually do business credit as well, to just kind of find out. But you can go on their website the same way you pay for Netflix, the same way you pay for Hulu, the same way you pay for food every single month. You could get a subscription to Experian. I prefer Experian. I have one for TransUnion also, but Experian, right? They literally give you step by step what they will do to improve your score. Now, here's the difference between them and other people. They are the score that people look for. They go to Experian to get the score, and Experian is saying, here you go. I will make your score higher by doing these things. And people go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on YouTube and find out from this guy who I've never seen before, who has no credit score, who might be a scammer. He could tell me how to get my credit score higher. When the person who owns your credit score is like, hey, just do these things right now. I found this out too, which is crazy. So people who live by themselves, this will benefit you guys a lot. If you go on Experian and you put in that you pay for your phone bill, they're going to ask you a link to your bank account, and they're going to ask you to link to your utility bill. When my Experian credit score, everybody asks, what's my score? My Experian credit score went up 10 points. 10 points. All I did was connect my phone bill. That's it. That's literally all I did. I've paid my phone off for the last 3 months. They saw that and said, okay, here's 10 points for you. Bruh, Because I don't think y'all understand how crazy that is. People be like, I got to pay off my bills every single month. I got to make sure I have 30% utilization. I got to make sure that I'm paying my bill off by this date before it goes to the billing time, whatever. Right? You can go on the website, show them that you already been paying your phone bill, and they'll give you 10 points. They also give you points for Con Ed. Mine, for whatever, I think I switched my card that I use, so I only have 2 months of payment. So the third month is going to go up another couple of points, maybe another 10 points, 12 points. And then they also, depending on how many utility bills you have, you could keep making your score go higher, which might be a new scam. Who knows? But you'd be crazy. That might be a new scam. Listen, guys, you heard it here first. Get mad utility bills, pay them shits off, and then make your score go up. But then they also have Netflix. They increase your score for paying for Netflix. You already pay for these things and you want a credit score. Why not put them together and just go on there and then just have them increase your score? It's crazy. So like I said, I have them. I'm increasing my score through them right now. It went up those 10 points. They also show you all your inquiries that you have. They show you everything that you need to know about your score. Everything. But I am paying I paid $2,500 earlier this year for credit repair, which actually did nothing for my credit. And then I got a refund because it was so long for him to do anything. He gave me half of my money back. So I paid $1,250 for this. And I still have received more or less, I got a couple of tidbits information, kinda, but my score didn't move. That's what I know. So, you know what? Let me not be too hard, because maybe the fact that he got me a physical address is why we was approved for this money. You know, maybe that's why. I don't know, but I do know that he ain't tell me that's why it went up. I don't know, whatever. So, the last thing for life update is Melissa anxiety. Right now, honestly, I love Melissa very much, and there is nothing else that I can think of right now. Maybe it's selfishness, because she tried to take my joy away from me from playing with my cat yesterday, and I hope she'll think I forgot about that. But other than that, her anxiety is the only thing that I have a problem with Melissa. That's the only thing I can think of, and it manifests itself in different ways. So I'm like, okay, how can we manage this anxiety situation? How can we? And it's not necessarily anxiety as being the problem. It's more so of the reaction to the anxiety. That's what I have a problem, because everybody has anxiety. I have it. Everybody has it. It's not a thing that nobody has. It's just, okay, how do you manage it, right? So for me, I personally do not like the fact that Melissa's anxiety causes her to be self-destructive. I don't like that. So I feel like when she gets anxiety, she bites her nails, which is destructive. I feel like she picks her skin, which is destructive. Something else she does too. I don't know what it was. These things I consider to be destructive. So this came to me during the the check scam, right? While we were having the conversation, Melissa's anxiety was flaring up, and she started to bite her nails, really started biting her nails. I'm like, wow, she's really chewing her nails off. And I'm like, okay, she's clearly anxious about this. She thinks she's gonna go to jail. She's like, oh God, we're going to jail. Lesbians are gonna rape me, right? So I'm like, okay, here's the AirPod case. I gave it the AirPod case to hold. She stopped biting her nails, right? But the craziest thing happened that I was like, wow, this is insane. She found something on her leg to pick at with her chain. Now, here's why this is crazy to me. Because Melissa does not really pick her skin as much as she used to. She more so bites her nails because her nails aren't as long to pick her skin. But it was so crazy to me that she went from biting her nails in that moment to then trying to pick something on her skin. I'm like, wow, this is definitely a physiological thing that's causing her to want to do these self-destructing activities. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So I'm like, okay, what can I find online that could possibly help with this? So I found a couple of things. Here's one thing. I see that. One of the things that I found is this cool device right here. If you're looking at the video, you'll probably see it. If you're not, it's called I don't know what it's called. It's called a fidget something. I don't know what it's called. I don't know the name, but I think it's amazing, right? So people who are watching the video, you can see this. It has different types of things on it. So right here you can do this right here. It's like a little lighter thing like that. I don't know if you can see my hand like this, right? Lighter here. Let me put it closer. I guess I can see when I crop it. Okay, you got a lighter. Boom, right? You got this spins around like that. Then you got buttons. They click, right? Then you got the little spinny thing on the back, and you got this that click. You got this that spin. You got this thing right here, right? So here's why. I thought it was cool when I bought it, right? So I was like, wow, I think this would definitely be cool. So I got one. I was buying something similar for myself, and I ended up not buying it. I don't remember the reason why, but this came in the mail today, and I brought it outside while I was on the phone with my therapist, and I'm like, okay, it seems kind of cool. It's not like I wouldn't really use it. It don't really seem like it doesn't. It's like it's whatever. It's cute, but I'm like, I don't really see how it would work. I think two of the things on there Melissa would like, but I'm like, oh, this is just a lot of gimmicks, right? So I'm on the phone with my therapist, and I have my hands in my pocket, and I found myself pressing all the buttons at the same. I'm pressing, clicking, flipping, switching, everything, right? And I'm like, this is interesting, because to me, I'm like, I don't think I'm anxious right now, but this gives me something to do with my hands in my pocket. And at that moment, I realized how valuable and useful this thing was. I'm like, it's in my pocket. I can click it. I can move my finger around it. I can move there's like a lighter switch up and down. It makes sounds. I feel like I'm actually I can squeeze it if I want to. I'm like, wow, this is incredible. So I came in the house excited. I'm like, hey babe, look, I love this thing, but I think you would also love it, and I think you should have it. I think it's better for you than for me to have. So I gave it to her. Now, do you are you fucking with it? She's fucking with it. She fucks with it, right? So I also bought another one, which is like, did I buy one? Second one? I might buy a second one for myself. But I want a punching bag. That's what I really want. I want to get a punching bag. That's what I think I need. But I bought something called an anxiety ring. So it goes in your finger, and it's real cute and discreet, and it just goes like this. You just flick it around, stuff like that. So I think that's gonna be cool too. We'll see. But I definitely think that I like the I don't even know what to call it, but I like it. I think it's very useful. So if I had an affiliate link, I would plug it, but I don't have one. We're not that far yet. YouTube, we just keep chilling. We just making videos. We just be vibing, making videos and vibing, right? But I think that's it for life update. All right, we're gonna fast forward to the episode Playback, which is segment number 2. That intro or that segue was for the people in my family who are telling me that I should be more apparent when I'm switching to the next subject or the next segment. So this is segment number 2, episode Playback. Here we go, episode Playback, segment number 2, guys. So I realized that in my intro, I thought I was sitting still, but I still was bouncing around like this, just bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. Like, hey, that it don't really look as good as I thought. In my head, it feels like it looks better than it actually looks. So that will be something I kind of scratch off from my to-do list. I definitely enjoy the fact that the mic, I turned the gain up on the mic, so it allows me to be further away from the mic and speak at more of a normal tone, and I feel like it still gets picked up very well. I think today I was able to accomplish speaking at a good pace while also having energy, because I realized that that's a problem. I either will have energy and speak too fast, or I'll speak slow, and in my opinion, I will not have any energy. So I think I could probably speak slower, but I also do think I have been enunciating today too, which is also good. So we're getting better. Use less contractions. Working on that. I always feel like I will speak better if I use less contractions, because then it allows me to enunciate all of my words. Okay. The intro sounds good. The ad in the beginning getting old. Burps and yawns gotta go. Can you scroll up? Keep going all the way up. Oh no, not that far. Right there. So the convo last week, it went in the wrong direction, and I don't have enough time to explain it today because we might be ending the podcast soon. But what happened was I was trying to talk about how people who have privilege feel as though they're successful because of their privilege. And I think it's funny because everybody has a privilege, or let me say that I'm saying it incorrectly. Other people think that somebody made it because of their privilege. Somebody might say, oh my God, you're so famous because you're pretty. Oh my God, you're so successful because you're tall. Oh my God, you're successful because you have money. And I think it's funny because everybody has a privilege that somebody else would say that's why you're successful. Because, you know, I don't want to, obviously you hear this all the time. People go, well, look at the people in other countries who don't have as much as you do, right? And you look at them and they'll probably look at you and go, wow, you have all of these things and you're not, like, you're successful. You have, look how, like, you were able to go to college because you live in America. So I always just find it funny because some people may be pretty and that may be why they got certain roles, but they also may not get certain roles because they weren't tall enough, because they weren't hood enough, they weren't black enough, they weren't white enough, they don't have enough money, don't have enough what's that thing that people call when you are rich? Etiquette. They don't have the proper etiquette. They don't speak the right language. It's different things. And I think that's funny because even with, think for example, right? A pretty girl who speaks English may not get a job over an ugly girl who speaks Spanish. So does that mean her pretty privilege gets her everything she wants? No, it doesn't. It means that pretty privilege will get you jobs that want you to be pretty. That's what that means. So if you ugly and you go into a job that needs you to be pretty, you probably won't get that job. But if you're funny and a pretty girl is not funny, who are you gonna do better as a comedian? Probably you. So when they go, oh my God, it's not fair. If I was ugly, I would probably be a better comedian. It's like, no, you're just not funny. So now, like I said, I just want people to, you know, it's something I've thought about listening to Madisyn Brown's video about pretty privilege. That's where this came up from. And I just think it's crazy that everybody feels like somebody else is successful because of their privilege. Now, another thing too is, you know, before I switch roles on that, I sometimes tell myself, which I think is so crazy, that the only reason that certain people are successful is because they're short, right? So I'm like, Kevin Hart is only successful because he's 5'3", and Joe Rogan is only successful because he's 5'6", and that's why all these other people are. So Jeff Bezos is 5'8", you know, stuff like that, right? And it's funny because in the same breath, I'll say LeBron is only successful because he's 6'8", 250 beast of a person, right? And it's like, so Donivan, what is it? Is it because they're tall or short? Like, why are they successful? And it's like, neither. I'm like, honestly, do I think LeBron would be a Kevin Hart comedian? No. Do I think Kevin Hart could dunk like LeBron? No. It's everybody has a skill and they have to figure out how to apply that skill. Somebody else would say that you're privileged with that skill. So yeah, and last week in that video, I caught myself starting to chat like I was, you know, in the streets with my guys. Real lot of hood dude stuff. And I should be trying to use the teleprompter as a guide and not word for word. I think it's better because I can then look into the camera and you guys can feel me inside of you. You feel me? So I'm making faces. So honestly, like I said, I want to have some other topics that I have on here, but I won't be able to cover them because my head is really killing me. Like, I don't know what happened. Since I went outside earlier today, I had this crazy headache and I don't know where it came from. And it's like, it's killing me. I made it all the way this far, and maybe the headphones are making it worse, but oh God, it's just, oh fuck, this is crazy. What?
I didn't have the Delta virus.
Oh, and Melissa had Delta virus, so she's better now though. It went away. Oh, she said she did not have it. She had the lambada virus.
I had food poisoning.
It's all the same thing. They're all the same thing. She had the flu poisoning. Melissa has gotten better. She has not died, and she is fine. She ate some bad Chinese food, which is all Chinese food that comes from the Bronx. But yes, like I said, I'm gonna end this short because my head is starting to really bother me, and I can't even focus anymore. But we'll be back here next Tuesday. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Okay, if you haven't already, you can check out our social medias. Mine is DonivanGray, DonivanGray, and you have the phenomenal, beautiful, amazing Melissa Burnett. Her Instagram is AnetaBurn, AnetaBurn. We have 6 different projects. All right, we have the food project, We have the clothing project. We have the music project. We have the fitness project. We have the sports project. And we have the Bamboo Project podcast, which you just finished listening to right now. You know what it is. Hashtag Bamboo Project 2021. As you can see, we going up all year. You know the vibes. And with that being said, Bamboo Project out.